Hey, Keely, you mentioned that you played outside linebacker last year. Were you more of were you still characterized as a D end at the bandit position, or was that in the verbiage of outside linebacker?
So it's called Bandit, but it's basically an outside linebacker. My first year here, I played DN and outside linebacker, but then once I got into my second year here, it was just straight Bandit. So it's just classified as outside linebacker. Like,
And how's the transition been working from outside linebacker, where you still rush the quarterback a bit, moved into coverage, now moving closer toward the middle of the line?
so moving from outside to inside, I kind of have to read more. I kind of thought it was going to be harder than it was, but then once I got into it, it was pretty easy. I just got a couple more reads, and I got a tempo to back. I have gap responsibilities more than I did at Bandit. I got to work on my man-on-man coverage now. There's a lot of small technique stuff I have to work on, but the transition's been smooth, and I'm sure it's going to raise the ceiling for me and allow me to help the defense a lot more than I did at Bandit. Use all my abilities there, and it's going to be good. I've been having a lot of progress throughout these past practices, and it's been good so far.
Next, let's go to Ed Lane from CBS Sports Radio.
Aakil, building on Damien's question, you mentioned the ease of the transition in terms of roles. What about the mental and cerebral part of the game? Has there been more on your plate in terms of checks, lining other people up, diagnosing the offense? Is that something that's been put on your plate as well?
Yeah, it's for sure. From moving from bandit to inside linebacker or will, what I play now, it's been a lot more reads and stuff, a lot more that I have to focus on and make sure my eyes aren't bad. Like at bandit, my eyes could have been bad, but I could have helped myself out by just having good technique. But at will, if I have bad eyes, it's going to mess the whole play up for me. I have to have good technique, and I got to read way more, read run pass off the quarterback and the running back. And yeah, it's a lot more on my plate, but it's not anything bad or hard for me. I got it so far. I'm gonna be good.
Go to TJ.
Feel playing so far in this off season that has improved compared to last season as far as technique or any aspect of your game?
So last year I played at like 231. I'm probably at like 235 right now. I feel way stronger and faster. I've been working on my footwork and my hips, opening up in coverage. I probably worked on pass rushing like 3 times in this past offseason because I was so focused on my inside linebacker technique and my steps and reads and stuff. But I'm still going to be coming off the edge and stuff when we get later down working on these packages. So I still have to focus on that. But it's been a lot of small techniques in my steps and stuff when I was working out this past offseason.
Hey, Aakil, John Manson of Cedar Red. You talked a lot about moving from defensive end to linebacker. How does that, go as far as, you still get Coach Aldridge? I mean, a lot of guys, when they switch positions, they get new coaches, but, your position coach kind of switching with you. Is that something that you're looking forward to and maybe can help even with your transition?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because since he coached me at DN, and if I would have end up having a whole different coach, kind of where I had to build that relationship back up again, and with this transition, I really didn't have to. So it kind of made me more comfortable. It was just him and me, and I was learning a new position, and we already had that relationship, so it didn't feel like pretty new to me. It was like it was really just the position change that was the difference. But the coaching, I'm glad it was him as my coach at this new position.
Damien.
Akil, Coach Aldridge mentioned earlier this week that in addition to playing at the will, they're going to put you in bandit in certain situations because you have that ability to come off the edge and get to the pass rusher. And how has conditioning gone to make sure you can be on the field for 40, 50 snaps a game?
So in the offseason, there's different groups. It'll be the bigs. That'll be like the D linemen, O linemen, and then there's the mids. Last season, I was working out with the bigs because I was at Bandit, but this past offseason, I've been with the mids. First couple conditioning days, I felt it a little bit, but it wasn't tearing me down because I've just been working on my conditioning because I knew I'd had to. I knew last year, North Texas, I had all those plays. I wasn't really that tired, so I guess it's gonna be like those games, but more frequently than it was last year because I'm going to be playing a lot more snaps this year. So the conditioning did change a lot, but it wasn't a big jump.
As a follow-up, what were the discussions like with you, Coach Aldridge, Coach Freeze, maybe about the position change and thinking, hey, we can move you to this spot and it will work out?
So it was, I think it was like a week or two after the bowl game. Coach Aldridge called me, and he talked about, he was like, he asked me, he didn't tell me I was switching position. He asked me, he was like, man, would you be okay with moving the wheel, like playing inside backer, like just as a thought? And I was like, I actually had the thought in mind already. I was actually gonna ask him if I could play it, like before he even knew or was gonna ask me, and I was like, yeah. And then we both knew that it would raise the ceiling for me and allow me to make more plays and help the defense out way more than I was before. So I was excited to move. It was in my head already. I was gonna ask before he even brought it up to me, so that's how it went.